Hello everybody and welcome back. Our topic today is about what new changes you can expect on your career path. It is a pick a pile reading today, so take your pick from whichever pile is going to resonate with you most. We'll have that up on the screen in a minute. Please also remember this is just my interpretation of the cards. Obviously there are no rights or wrongs, and this is for entertainment purposes, absolutely not based on fact in any way. I presume that you are an intelligent person and can make your own decisions, but this just offers you maybe some insight or some guidance or just another way of thinking of things that can sometimes prompt solutions to come to the fore. So as always, thank you for joining us and enjoy the video. Here we have your choices: pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, or pile 5. So take a moment and see which one of those resonate most with you, and I will put the timestamp in so that you can either go directly to the pile that you've chosen, or you're welcome to watch all of them. Welcome pile 1. We've pulled some cards for you, so let's see what these cards are exactly. So first up, we have blueprint, builder. Your innate ability to build and create brings you a deep sense of accomplishment. Lotus flower, unfoldment. Peace offerings, white buffalo calf woman. I've moved the cards around a little just so that it's easier for you to see. So first up we have the builder, which talks to us about making something from nothing. It talks about creation and improvement, as well as the eye for detail. With this card, it seems to me very much like structure, stability, development, and upgrades, and all about putting the work in, which is being brought to our attention. So I would say that we are being encouraged, for those of you that chose pile 1, to perhaps explore new ways to create exactly what it is that you're wanting to enjoy. Because as we all know, stagnation tends to drain one, where empowering and developing and creating and improving oneself in situation actually energizes us. And as you can see by the picture in this card, he is holding the tools of his trade. And in the background, let me pick up the card so that it's easier for you to see. In the background there, you will see that there are people, or there he is, full swing in the middle of his working day. So this really does speak to me about progression and doing what you need to do, putting the work in, doing what you need to do so that you can get what it is that you are wanting to get. Now, as much as this is an action-orientated card, the lotus flower talks to me about a little bit more of a passive energy. So if we were talking, keywords that come up, this would be your masculine and this would be your feminine. So the masculine is your action-orientated, go, 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 do, get things done with a timeline and a strategy and all that kind of stuff. Whereas the feminine, or the unfoldment, or the more passive energy, really does talk to us about growth that's happening organically. As we all know, and I mean, as we can judge by the word on the card, the unfoldment happens at a timing that is that can't be hastened. All right, so there is very much an energy of those on the other side, your spirit helpers, your guides, guardians, angels, family on the other side, saying, listen, as much as there is this go go go, action orientated energy happening, just get on with what you're doing while the process unfolds itself. So this is about growth happening, about pulling yourself out of the mud towards the light. As you can see, the sun's coming up behind those clouds, which talks to me very much about improvement. So they also want to remind you that while you are in this busyness of action-orientated work, that it is okay for you to pause and rest along the path if you really must, but stopping isn't an option. Better things are coming, rewards and success are coming. Trying to force the situation is completely pointless. What you do need to do is, put your feet in front of each other, but then allow and trust that everything is unfolding as it needs to, as it should, as long as you put the work in. All right. There, I'm just seeing a picture of that I'd never noticed before, a picture of a hand that's sort of holding the sun in it. And let me get that card so that you can see it a little bit easier, because I understand there might be a bit of a glare on there. So as you can see, this hand it's in the receiving position, and the sun is obviously indicative of good things. It almost looks like she's holding, or whoever's holding this hand is open to receiving all the best things, that shiny ball of empowerment and improvement, and maybe it even looks like a gold coin of money, and all these clouds do seem to be parting, and giving the sun chance to come out. Another thing that comes to my attention is a reflection in the still water. So they're just saying, bit of introspection might be good for you, a little bit of, having a look to see if what you're doing is still working for you, or if there's changes that need to be made. So just a general reassessment of things. And I do feel that's very important in the year of 2023, particularly because the energy seems to be one of stepping stones. So taking a step, assessing how far you've come and where you still need to go, and where you need to place your next step before you take that. So this reflective energy is mirroring that message as well. The peace offering of your white buffalo calf woman talks to us very much about the prophetess that presented the Lakota tribe with a special pipe that you can see there in her hand, that amplifies their prayers in order to create a bridge between heaven and earth. So white buffalo calf woman, pardon me, I'll pick that up so you can see it better, really talks about unity and peace on earth, and asks you to perhaps reflect where in your own life you could consciously create more peace and harmony and compassion, and where perhaps you could introduce maybe some humor or some acceptance of the situation that can help you to de-stress, that allows some wisdom to flow and to move through and create healing in a way that perhaps wasn't possible up until this point. So she really comes with a lot of intuition and wisdom that comes from the other side, from experience. And then, as you know, the buffalo is one of the strongest animals on earth. So that is very much about moving in herds, but still the white buffalo is standing out from the crowd. So if you do your work, great, there might be a gazillion builders, but if you are building using your skills and your intuition and your experience to guide you to build better, and thereby taking yourself out the mud. And we all know that the lotus needs the mud in order to grow big and strong, through those clear waters to pop out and open on the other, through the waters. So she's just saying, use your intuition to guide you through whatever it is that you need to go through, so that you can build it nice and strong. Now, these beautiful cards, and I'm just going to lift it so that you can see it easier, are, as you saw in the beginning, from a deck of cards from Janosh, and I absolutely love them. And this is Blueprint. So we all have our very own blueprints that we incarnate into this life with, and our pre-life programs, or our contracts, or our expectations for this incarnation are within that blueprint. I hope this is focused. There we go. So as humans, we do tend to overcomplicate things a little bit. I think that's part of the human affliction. And we complicate things, or overcomplicate things, with our projections and our emotions and our expectations and our assumptions. And sometimes those assumptions include, thinking that things should be easier, or things should be better, or that life is unfair, or whatever it happens to be, that the story that we invent in our imaginations of, and project out into our realities of how we think it should be, compared to how it is that we're experiencing things. So this card very much talks about encouraging you to get back to the basics of what it is that you really want. Maybe thinking about what you want in terms of material gains and wealth, and then even looking a little bit deeper to see, what is it besides the material gains, what is it that you really are trying to achieve? Because maybe you're thinking that the material and the money and the abundance and the prosperity and all those other things that humans are mostly striving for is what you actually want. But what the underlying energy of that is perhaps a sense of belonging and safety. So this card is really encouraging you to have a look to see, understand what your surface level of want is, but what your soul blueprint need is. And I think that was that was a lovely example for them to bring through. So this card also calls you to consider what drives you. And once you know yourself a little bit better, then you can release what no longer serves you, and you can build on what is actually fundamentally important to you that perhaps you hadn't considered up until now. So that's a lovely message. That's very positive, Power One. So that's it. I hope it's given you some insight. If you are attracted to any of the other cards that were in the beginning, take a look at those. And thank you for your support as always. Bye for now. Hello and welcome, Pile 2. Let's see what cards have been pulled for you today. So first up, we have Confidence. Justice. Your career brings fairness and protection to others who need your help. Fire. Passion. Drink more water. Ocean. What beautiful illustrations these cards have. Your natural inclination, it seems, Pile 2, is towards leadership, justice, and management. And this helps you to delegate tasks in order for you to focus on the important things. So we need to ask the question, are you perhaps feeling like you aren't being recognized for your potential, or that perhaps you need more balance in your life or in your career? And will you stand up for yourself when you need to, when perhaps you're involved in conflict resolution or business proposals or general personality management. So those are all of the questions that we need to ask ourselves when justice comes up in the context of this kind of reading. Next, we have the fire passion card. And that talks to me very much about asking yourself, even though you may have the skills, the power, the choice, the opportunity to make changes, if your current situation no longer suits you, the question is, do you have the self-confidence to do that, or do you have the willingness to do that, or do you have the self-worth to maybe think bigger or more than what you've already got? So do you need to perhaps take some time to reignite your fires of passion, your warrior spirit, to move you from where you are to where it is that you're wanting to be? So finding your passion is very much needed and necessary, and can take you to a place where you can perhaps create abundance if you decide to direct your focus to improve your situation in that way. So they really are talking about, you utilizing every step along the way to your benefits. And as you can see by this picture, this guy, even though he's blowing out the whatever liquid it is to the fire thrower, that breathes out the fire, it's also part of a dance, part of a ritual. So they're just asking you you can have fun as you're going along your way, but they're asking you to make sure that every step counts. There is perhaps a way for you to move forward while enjoying the dance, or understanding that life is a dance, and that not every step backwards is a step backwards. It might just be part of the dance where you step back in order to move forward as well. So part of the fire thing as well, fire needs breath, it needs energy, it needs it's the giver and taker of life. So they're just saying, be very conscious about what it is that you're doing that maintains the balance, that can then move you forward, making your decisions going forward. Ocean, she is the goddess of water, abundance, and flow. And obviously for some of you, perhaps you do need to be a little better hydrated. But this card, within the context of career, speaks to me about finding ways to increase your attractiveness, your self-esteem within your career sector. And this may include forms of self-development, including formal and informal education. It would also include upskilling, creative projects, thinking about problems possibly from a different angle to the one that you usually do, and really finding solutions that perhaps previously weren't considered. Increasing your hydration levels can also increase your brain function and your energy levels. So for some of you, if you're feeling maybe a little low on energy, perhaps it's time to either get out to outside in nature where there's flowing water, or to increase your hydration levels. That will maybe just help you to see things from a different perspective and have your body just work a little bit better than perhaps it was before. She's also sitting next to this big cat, and if you know anything about these massively strong and intelligent creatures, you would know that they silently move towards what it is that they are hunting. So this is not about making a big rah-rah about what it is that you're doing, but rather taking considered steps in the direction that you're wanting to go. Being silent about it if that's what you need to do, but making sure that you're putting the work in, that you are putting the intelligence, building the intelligence, and making sure that every step that you take does count. I'm also just being drawn here to her bangles, and the card's just talking to me about not allowing things that previously enslaved you or that had previously held you back, to handcuff you to your past. This is very much talking about taking your power back, taking your energy and your skill level and your everything that you have that makes you who you are, and helping that to move you forward towards your goals of leadership, management, balance, getting back into your powerful part of who you are. Confidence. Make your choices from a position of confidence is what this card talks about. So it would be a good time for you to arm yourself with some knowledge and to know that you really can't make mistakes, but you can make corrections if and when necessary. So again, don't feel like a lot of people are scared to start or are scared to take the next step because they're worried that the next step might be the wrong step or leading them in the wrong direction. And this card just reminds you of the fact that just as the second card did, where life is a dance, you can step backwards and then use the backward step to step you back forward, and dance your way to your most beneficial outcome. So again, course correction is absolutely 100% not only possible but also and beneficial, but also encouraged if it's if you're currently heading in a direction that no longer suits you. So confidently and boldly go in the direction of your dreams is how I would sum the message of this card up. Wow, what a positive reading for you, pile 2. That's lovely. I hope it made some sense for you, and good luck in going forward and reaching your goals. This is very exciting. Thank you for joining us. If you were attracted to any of the other piles, you can take a look at that one as well. Otherwise, thank you for all of your support, and we'll see you again. Bye for now. Hello and welcome, pile 3. So let's have a look to see which cards have come out for you. First up, we have Time Shift, Freedom. You're free to do what you choose. Crystals, Focus. Freedom. That's the goddess Henna. Freedom comes from knowing that you do have choices. They tell me that you have created, through your choices and your decisions, your current circumstances, and you can therefore create something different if you choose to. So some self-responsibility is what is going to give you the power that you thought was outside of yourself, only that you're going to realize that your freedom of movement, choice, and change is actually inside of you. So give yourself permission to make some small changes, because all of your small changes together are what is going to create some big changes. And I do feel here we see the dolphins, and the dolphin always talks to me about teamwork, about families, about business partnerships. So if you were thinking about perhaps going into business or starting a business or expanding your business, or working together with other people in terms of getting ahead, because as you can see, those dolphins are moving. Let me pick up the card so that you can see the illustration a little better. So as you can see, those dolphins are moving and changing, and it does look like the sun is coming up, which is reflected on the sea. So this card is very much talking to me about changes or prospective changes or the opportunity for changes in your work sector if this is what it is that you're choosing to do going forward. Our second card, crystals, again talks about focus. So these purple crystals remind me of the amethyst crystal, which are, the purple versions of the clear quartz crystal. Now, your clear quartz crystal is a master healer crystal. And amethyst helps with clear thinking, clear decisions, and a truthful assessment of situations. So having a look to see what this card speaks about, I would definitely say that now might be a very good time to bring some clarity of thought regarding where it is that you are compared to where it is that you want to end up and what it is that you're prepared to do to get there. I do feel that you're being encouraged to remember that single-minded, determined focus together with the action-orientated steps, as we can see those dolphins are definitely putting the work in, is what will help you to create your results quickly. So if you avoid your distractions and all your what ifs, I really do feel that you will overcome all of your challenges and the magic will happen, and that will lead you to that positive outcome that was spoken about in the first card. Hina is the Hawaiian moon goddess, and she talks about that things may currently seem a little bit murky and misty and unclear, but this moon goddess assures you that if you stop focusing on the darkness and you start focusing, which the darkness would be your problems or your challenges or your current situation, and you start focusing on what you're doing, which brings us that clear quartz master healer and the clear thoughts of the amethyst. So if you focus on what it is that you're doing and allow the light of the moon to illuminate your way until your sun comes up, as was discussed in your first card. So if you're feeling a little bit dissatisfied with where you currently are, this card really does encourage you to keep going, keep doing, keep moving. There are solutions and breakthroughs, improvements, all those kind of things that are definitely on their way, that will help you to navigate the material world a little bit easier. But this goddess, being one of the goddesses of fertility and attraction and manifestation, says it's not going to fall out the sky. It is a combination of the law of attraction and the positive thinking and the positive affirmations and the looking on the bright side, but it is also action orientated. You are going to need to put your feet in front of each other, take the steps, make the decisions, take responsibility for yourself and your situation, and that will lead you to the goal that you are wanting to head towards. Now, for some reason, when I have a look at this card, the moon goddess Hina, I also feel very, very strongly the goddess Pele. Now, Pele is the volcano goddess, or the goddess of volcanoes. And as you know, volcanoes have a lot that brews underground, unseen, undetected for a very long time before they explode and let all of that power, raw power and energy out very quickly. So this again is just talking to me when I overlaid the message of Pele to say, do your work underneath. Nobody needs to know what's going on, but you need to make sure that, just the same as the volcano focuses all that energy in one direction, that it comes out of the volcanic pipe. That's how you need to be responding to this whole story. Don't get distracted by stuff. Get on with it, and then focus all of your energy, and then you'll get those massive life-changing results that you are looking forward to. So this card, Time Shift, talks to me about that you really do have the experience and the skills that you need, and everything that you don't have, you can easily learn if you are determined to. There is a whole lot more than enough time for you to accomplish everything that you want to and everything that you decide to if you just put your head down and get it done. So really take control and maybe make time or schedule time in your diary if you don't have time to really spend some time investing in yourself, spend some time investing in where it is that you're going to focus your determination and your skills and your hard work, because it's no good putting in the effort and you go in circles. Going in circles expends energy, but it doesn't get you anywhere. So they're saying if you expend the energy in a more determined, more focused line, it's going to get you to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage, because there are other stages and levels to your achievement here. So this really does fit in very nicely with the story that the guides have told us about and brought to our attention here today. So don't ever fool yourself to say, I don't have it, I won't get it, because that's absolute nonsense. So you've been told, if you put the work in and if you stay focused and if you have your determination heading in the direction that you want, working together with everyone and everything that you have available to you, you can 100% get to where it is that you're wanting to go. But again, you're free to choose. You don't necessarily have to choose success. Some people choose not to have success, and that's perfectly fine for them. But those of you that choose that, it is available to you. So thank you very much, guys. If you are attracted to any of the other piles, take a look at them now. There is a timestamp that you can follow to get there. And as always, thank you for your support. Bye for now. Hello and welcome, pile 4. Let's have a look to see what cards we have for you today. So first up, we have wisdom, animals. You understand animals and communicate with them intuitively. Trust your inner guidance, as the animals are part of your life's work. Rain, purification. Mother, wife, sister, daughter, Lady Nada. I don't know if you are aware that Lady Nada is the partner of Saint Germain, and it's Saint Germain that brings us that lovely violet flame that some of us can, or that all of us, but that some of us use as a cleansing, neutralizing, transformative type energy. But first up, let's talk about your first card, animals. So this card very much talks about you trusting your natural instincts and your internal guidance. As humans, we are, sometimes we forget the fact that we are part of the animal kingdom. But what sets us apart is our logic, our strategic planning, and our long-term decision-making capabilities. Once we learn to respond to our circumstances rather than reacting to them, we do gain better control over ourselves and our lives. And we're able to make more intelligent decisions that then take us in the direction that we're wanting to go. So animals do teach us that there is a time for everything, including rest. So that's a lovely message that comes from this card. And this card, as you can see, includes this lovely waterfall that goes into a river, which is then reflected again in the second card. And I would just say there, it's about getting into flow, going with the flow, using your water to purify yourself, the water that you drink, the water that you wash with. And I have a lot of people asking me, Nicalene, how can we let go of our day or, other people's energies or intentions or thoughts about us? And I always say to them, get under some running water. If you have your daily shower, when you wash your body, wash your energy system with that water as well, and let it all flow away from you, to go and nourish elsewhere. So I would definitely say that that sentiment is what is reflected in the second card, the purification through the rain. So what is most prominent sometimes with us humans is that we don't question what is going on in our lives. So the guides are asking you to maybe ask yourself what your most prominent belief is that you hold about yourself or about your situation, and that maybe ask yourself, if you had to change just that one belief, how everything else would change as a result. So the magic in the rainfall doesn't only exist in the water moving through several phases before falling to earth. It goes through the air, the water droplets in the air, and then into the clouds, and then sometimes it goes into hail or snow, and other times it falls down as rain. So even though it's all the same thing, it's still water, it can go through different phases, just the same as us humans can move through several phases. And we're all just reminded that, when rain falls, it's not just the waterfall into the earth that creates that lovely, refreshing renewal energy, but it's also the ions in the air that are affected. And we get this even wherever there's moving water at the ocean, has the same effect that actually creates the magic that we feel. So in other words, it's not just what we do, but it's also the attitude and the energy that it's done in that matter. And the guides are just saying that you do have control both over, keeping what it is that you want, or purging what it is that you want that no longer suits you. And it's, you've got the option, and you've got the opportunities to utilize all of your emotional experiences and situations and circumstances to actually grow. The trees utilize the water that's depicted here as the emotions. It utilizes that to fertilize the land. Without the emotions, we wouldn't be human. The problem comes in when we utilize past experiences as boulders and blocks, and then the block up of that water that then turns stale. That's no good for anything. So they're just talking about staying in flow, letting things go, and everything in moderation. All right. So our third card, the Lady Nada card, talks about bringing two sides together to form a cohesive whole, creating peace and prosperity. She also talks about bringing any imbalances into balance, knowing that you don't have to give anything up, but rather you can just allow all of the instruments to play together like a well-practiced orchestra. And just the same as I spoke in the first two cards, just making the adjustments where necessary in order to create the harmony and the flow, in order to overcome any blockages that were indicated in the rain card, overcoming any blockages to your actual flow. And again, through the mother, wife, sister, daughter, obviously it can be father, husband, brother, son, but it's talking about those phases in your life. Nobody has a fit if they suddenly shift from being a son to a sibling, or a son to a husband, or a sister to a wife, or whatever it happens to be. We accept that we might not know how to be the next phase that we're going into, we might not know how to be a mother or a father. But what we do know is that we are going to learn as we go along, and that we will do our best, and we will make mistakes, and we will have the opportunities to correct those mistakes. So that is coming across very strongly in this card. Regardless of your gender, the archetype is still the same. It's about moving through the different phases, and even though when you start a new phase, which a lot of people are starting new phases now during 2023, and even beyond, that starting a new phase, you might not know exactly how it is that you're going to deal with that, because we all know too much rain can cause a problem and not enough rain can cause a problem. So it's all about the balance again. But knowing that no matter what it is that you're going to encounter, you do have the intelligence, as I spoke about in the first card, to be able to deal with what it is that you're going to be facing. So this card of wisdom really does talk to us about accepting the challenge of asking ourselves the question of what maybe you expect others to answer for you. So all of your answers, they want to remind you, do lie within, but sometimes we think that maybe we don't know what the answer is, because perhaps we're too scared to think outside of our current situation or experiences. So this card's just asking you to be your best friend, to give yourself the kind of advice, wisdom, and encouragement that you would perhaps give a friend or a colleague or a family member that is in the same situation as you might find yourself in currently. This card also talks to me very much about daring to dream a little bit bigger, cultivating the courage and following the wisdom of your internal, mature, logical, conscious awareness of yourself. And it also just reminds me, as you can see with all the details in the card and that lovely world that is in the middle of the card, that very small steps on a daily basis, on a consistent basis, are all going to lead you in the right direction, even if, as was indicated in your Lady Nada card, even if you don't know if you're heading in the right direction, or if you don't know what your next step should be, it is going to unfold. It is going to lead you to where it is through some course corrections, maybe. As you can see, as those lines intersect, you can follow them in various directions, and that's going to lead you to whatever it is that your goal is. So a very encouraging message that's coming through here. You do have wisdom. You do know what you need to do. You do, if you're honest with yourself, and you take responsibility for yourself and your circumstances, you 100% can get yourself to where it is that you're wanting to go to. So that's it, pile 4. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope this has helped you in some way. If you were drawn to any of the other cards, please take a look at the timestamp and take yourself there. Otherwise, we will see you again next time. Take care. Stay blessed. Bye for now. Hello and welcome, pile 5. Let's have a look to see what cards we have for you today. First up, empowerment. Crystals. Your connection to crystals and gemstones is a channel for healing energy. Rainbow blessings. And we have nurture yourself with Mother Mary. So first up, we have the card crystals. Your connection to crystals and gemstones is a channel for healing energy. So what this card talks to me about is that it might be time to amplify or to direct your energies by focusing your intentions with maybe single-minded determination. And I feel that way changes will come through quickly and easily, and maybe even sooner than what you expect. So if you work with crystals, I would say to pick one, stick it in your pocket, and every time you think of it, give it a little rub while affirming your expectations. I do feel that that will help you to stay focused on what your intention is, and direct your energy in that direction. Next up, the rainbow blessings. The guides talk to me about the fact that we often see rainbows in clear crystals as the internal imperfections refract the light. So you're being encouraged here to use your past experiences to amplify your skills and your experience and your expertise that you already possess internally, and to refract a rainbow of opportunity, creativity, and confidence in the direction that you're wanting it to go. At times you may need to collaborate, just as the water vapor and the sunlight collaborate in order to create the little prisms of light that magically turn into a rainbow. But I do feel that this talks to me very much about answered prayers and blessings and opportunities that are coming up into your experience. That they're on their way. So maybe you need to sort of wipe your eyes, because we always talk about the water in your eyes and seeing the rainbows that way. So maybe wiping your eyes and standing in your light of positive expectation, that's going to get you, use your rainbow as a bridge to get you to the other side of clear, focused determination and intention. Is going to give you your reward, your outcome that you're looking for. So Mother Mary, she looks very much like she's a nurturing energy, and she talks to the fact that if you've been feeling a little bit neglected or pushed aside, now might be the time to change that. Honor your internal voice, console your inner self, and be encouraged by your internal wisdom. We all have it. We all have intuition. Just sometimes we find it easier to ignore it than to take advice from it. So this is really encouraging you to know that you do know more than what you think that you do. So sometimes, like Mother Mary, great things can happen as a result of you just being you, and doing the next logical thing. I doubt very much if she woke up one morning and said, great, I'm going to be the mother of the Messiah. She just went and did her duty as a girl, then as a woman, and as a wife, and then as a mother, and great things happened as a result. So this card very much talks about trust in the process, even if you can't yet see what the end result is going to be, because you are going to be influencing a whole lot more situations, circumstances, and people than what you would ever think that you would. So I'm quite sure if she was an awful mother, and in every sense of the word, she wouldn't have produced a child or children that made such a massive difference for so many centuries down the line. So really, they're just saying you don't need to see the whole staircase, as that quote goes. You just need to take the next step. And the last card, empowerment. You are being reminded that you are powerful beyond measure. Don't hide behind your fears when your capacity and capabilities far outweigh and outshine the thoughts in your head. Embrace life as a learning environment and be all that you can be at every moment of every day, and watch as your life unfolds in the most amazing ways. And that very much mirrors the message that came here from the Mother Mary card. What a lovely message, Pile 5. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this has helped you in some way. If you were drawn to one of the other piles, take a look at the timestamps and take yourself there, or else just take a browse through and listen to all of them if you're so inclined. But thank you again for your support, and we'll see you again next time. Take care, stay blessed. Bye for now.